and we can't wait to bring you more exciting and thought-provoking content in the future. Until next time, keep the spirit of the king alive, and remember, the legend of Elvis Presley is far from over. So what are your thoughts on this? Sound off in the comments section down below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for celebrity news and updates every day. What if Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, never truly left us? Imagine a world where the most iconic musician of his era traded the spotlight for the pulpit, quietly living a life of faith. Today, we dive into the mystery that has captured the imagination of countless fans. The striking resemblance between Pastor Bob Joyce, a humble gospel preacher, and Elvis Presley, the legendary musician who supposedly passed away in 1977. Could it be that Elvis chose to step away from the pressures of fame to live a simpler, more meaningful life? Stay tuned as we unravel the clues, coincidences, and compelling evidence that Pastor Bob could no longer keep hidden. This story might just make you question everything you thought you knew. 5. Setting the scene. Pastor Bob Joyce is not your typical preacher. Known for his calm demeanor and deep passion for gospel music, he has led his congregation with a unique warmth and humility. His heartfelt sermons and soulful hymns resonate with everyone who listens, making him a beloved figure in his community. But there's more to Pastor Bob than meets the eye. For years, whispers have circled about an uncanny resemblance between this quiet pastor and one of the world's most famous performers, Elvis Presley. These rumors aren't based on idle speculation, but on details that are hard to ignore. Take a closer look, and the physical similarities between Pastor Bob and Elvis Presley become striking. Both share a strong facial structure marked by prominent cheekbones and expressive eyes that seem to hold countless stories. Even their smiles, gestures, and subtle mannerisms align in ways that have left fans baffled. For instance, Pastor Bob has been observed scratching his left ear in a peculiar way, an oddly specific habit that Elvis was known for. These small but telling traits have fueled a growing belief that the two might be more connected than anyone could have imagined. But it's not just their appearance that has people talking. Their shared love for gospel music creates an even deeper connection. Gospel held a special place in Elvis Presley's heart, and some of his most memorable performances were rooted in this genre. Pastor Bob shares that same passion, pouring his soul into each hymn he sings. When he leads his congregation in song, there's an emotional intensity and warmth that feels almost familiar to those who remember Elvis's gospel performances. It's a shared devotion to music that touches the hearts of their audiences, creating a bond that transcends time. As these details come together, the parallels become difficult to dismiss. Could it be a coincidence, or is there something more to the story? What about the timing, the habits, and the voice? Each clue draws us closer to an answer, but the most intriguing evidence is still to come. In the next section, we'll explore the timeline and uncover the curious gaps that leave fans convinced there's a hidden truth waiting to be revealed. 4. Building the mystery. The timeline of events adds a compelling layer to this mystery. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll, was declared dead on August 16, 1977, leaving the world mourning the loss of a cultural icon. Just a few years later, in the early 1980s, Pastor Bob Joyce emerged as a humble gospel preacher, captivating his congregation with heartfelt sermons and deeply moving hymns. For those who believe in the theory, this gap of a few years wasn't just a coincidence. It was a period of transformation. They argue it allowed Elvis to step away from the public eye, adopt a new identity, and begin a simpler, quieter life. One of the most striking pieces of evidence lies in their voices. Elvis Presley's voice was legendary, deep, soulful, and instantly recognizable. Fans have noted that Pastor Bob's voice carries an uncanny resemblance to the king's iconic tone. Whether he's preaching or singing gospel, there's a familiar warmth and resonance that echoes Elvis's unique style. Side-by-side comparisons of recordings have only fueled the intrigue, with many listeners struggling to tell the two apart. It's a similarity that goes beyond coincidence, sparking endless debates among believers and skeptics alike. The physical similarities are equally hard to ignore. From their shared height and build to distinct features like strong hands and prominent cheekbones, the parallels are striking. Fans have even pointed out small details like the way Pastor Bob scratches his left ear, an odd yet unmistakable habit that Elvis was known for. It's these subtle quirks, combined with their physical traits, that leave many convinced the two men are one and the same. While it might seem far-fetched to some, those who've followed the evidence find these connections impossible to dismiss. Then there's the musical connection, which deepens the intrigue. Gospel music was a cornerstone of Elvis Presley's life and career. Even at the height of his fame, he often returned to gospel as a source of comfort and inspiration. Similarly, Pastor Bob's ministry is steeped in gospel traditions, and his performances carry the same heartfelt passion that Elvis was known for. The shared love for this genre forms a bridge between their lives, suggesting a continuity that is hard to explain away. But is this connection proof of a hidden truth, or just a series of uncanny coincidences? In the next section, we'll delve into the most compelling evidence yet, exploring why so many believe Pastor Bob Joyce could no longer hide the truth about his past. Third, delving deeper, fans have gone to extraordinary lengths to analyze every aspect of Pastor Bob Joyce's life, searching for clues that connect him to Elvis Presley. One detail that stands out is Pastor Bob's use of a guitar style strikingly similar to the one Elvis often favored during his gospel performances. Observers have noted how his posture, movements, and playing technique echo the King's iconic stage presence. It's not just about the music, but the way he connects with his audience, deeply personally and with undeniable passion. This resemblance has only fueled speculation, especially given Pastor Bob's decision to avoid directly addressing the rumors, which many interpret as an intentional choice to keep the mystery alive. Adding to the intrigue is a controversial theory involving Elvis Presley's supposed escape from fame. Some believe the King staged his death with the help of the FBI, a notion supported by rumors of a secret operation referred to as Project Blue Suede. According to this theory, Elvis had become entangled in situations that made it dangerous for him to remain in the public eye. Faking his death was not just an act of self-preservation, but a way to start fresh, far from the pressures of his stardom. While skeptics dismiss these claims as fanciful, believers point to inconsistencies in the official accounts of Elvis's death as evidence that something larger was at play. For those who embrace the theory, the idea of Elvis seeking a quieter life makes sense. Imagine living under the constant spotlight, with every move scrutinized and every moment captured. For decades, Elvis was one of the most recognizable figures on the planet, his every action followed by a legion of fans and the relentless media. Many argue that after years of this exhausting lifestyle, he might have chosen to trade fame for peace. Becoming Pastor Bob Joyce, a man dedicated to faith and community, would have provided him with a chance to connect with people in a more meaningful and fulfilling way. This theory taps into a deeply human desire for reinvention, a longing to leave behind the burdens of one life to embrace another. Could Pastor Bob truly be the king of rock and roll in disguise, finding solace in a role far removed from his former self? The idea is captivating, and the evidence continues to build. But the most surprising clues lie not in the music or the mannerisms, but in a deeply personal detail that fans believe reveals the truth.